Welcome to Worldwide Giant Growers Elvis Tribute, August 16, 2013. I'm Bubba Presley, and I'm here to show you the patch. I know what you ladies are thinking. Is that really Elvis? No, it's not Elvis. It's me, Bubba Homegrown, from Tupelo, Michigan, where it's always cold. All right, let's move along. All right, I'm going to start out showing you my giant tomatoes. I have the 5.5 Mega Marv giant tomato here. And here's some of the products I've used to grow it with. Voodoo Juice, B52 to get vitamins, Big Bud. The two biggest products I like the most on these tomatoes here is the Big Bud and the Bud Igniter. I've been using them quite extensively the last 2 to 3 weeks. And as you can see, here's my Big Bud. All right, that's almost a 2-pound tomato, looking good. It's still got like 3 to 4 weeks yet to grow. I'm guessing this tomato to hit 3 to 4 pounds minimum. And just real quickly, I'll show you down here, Mike. I got some tomatoes down here. Show you some of the blossoms that are popping up. Here is a here's an example. Here's one on the outside. Most of them are down in the middle of the plant. Look at that tomato and that stem. That's a mega blossom. That's a smaller one. But they're just popping up all over the place. So we'll move along. Show them my scarecrow, Mike. Scarecrow hanging there. It's my good friend Mike Steele, the man of steel. He's got some watermelons growing down the street. He's been growing with me for years. All right, we'll move along here and go down to the, I'm going to show you the sunflowers. We've had some cold weather. The last 2 weeks has been really cold, clammy weather, cloudy. It's probably been one of the worst summers we've had in a long time, yet I've got some of the nicest tomatoes, biggest pumpkins, some of the best stuff going, as does Chris Kent down in Tennessee. Chris has 5 watermelons over 200 pounds right now, the biggest one being over 250. He's on his way, if the weather allows, with those great advanced nutrients, he's going to grow a world record watermelon. And my sunflowers here, if you look at the sunflowers, they're 11 feet tall or better, some of them. I didn't plant these until like June 7th. They love the Voodoo Juice. They love all the goodies. And while we're here, I was going to show you my gardening pants. I designed these gardening pants myself. They're actually the back of the pocket sewed onto the kneecap. I had a lady do that. And then I have these pads that I can slip the pads in and out. As you notice, there's no straps for chafing the back of your legs. These pads are really nice. They just slip in and out. And depending on what you're doing, if you have a light day weeding, you can use a mini pad. If you're going to do a heavy day of weeding, you use the maxi pad. Those are handy homegrowns, maxi pad pants. All right, moving along here. The woodchuck abused us a little bit here. We'll move along in here. Here's my family's cucumbers, golden zucchinis, green zucchinis for the table, the dinner table. World record field pumpkin. I'm still waiting on the 209 Werner to produce. It's got a couple little ones in the back, but my better plant here is actually the 140 Barker. The 140 Barker, beautiful plant. It is right over here. Have you Mike show you the stem on this. I got a cage on it because I have a woodchuck that keeps visiting me. Although I hauled a baby one away the other day, caught it in the live trap and hauled it away. Look at the size of the stem on this field pumpkin. That's a nice field pumpkin. This is only about a 1-week-old pumpkin. Put the bird cage on there. At least make the woodchuck tip it over before he eats it. Anyhow, we'll flip around here to the long gourds. You all remember Slim and Stretch? Stretch is now 9'7". Puts him at about 115 inches. Still growing about a ½ inch a day. It's an enormous, beautiful long gourd. My first year ever growing long gourds. They're loving it. Chris Kent sent me this plant, if you all remember, from Tennessee. He had laced it with Voodoo Juice and all the goodies and sent it to me. Small little plant. It's doing wonderful. Let's step around here and I'll show you the latest long gourd. The latest long gourd over here is on the 125 Sweet. Now, mind you, this long gourd is probably only 12 days old. 12 days old, I can't believe it's been growing like this in the cold, cloudy weather we've been having. This thing is 7 feet long, I'm guessing, because that's 12 foot to the top, and we're down here. It's down here at my chest. So that's got to be 7 feet in 12 days. That's going to be a long, long gourd. Lordy, gordy, gordy. Good old Gordy. All right, moving along here. The Concave 2, it ended up getting overgrown jungle in there. There's a couple of pumpkins on the platy about as big as beach balls. But here we have my fertilizing station. Some of the great products that I use. This is a Cushy Kush, is a product I used to grow the 1478 last year. It was the first advanced nutrient product that I used. This year I'm using all their products. The Rhino Skin is potassium silicate to make them thick and heavy. Big Bud, as you can see what it's doing for my tomatoes, wonderful tomatoes. B52 is your vitamins, wonderful product. Also, I believe it has some hormones in it. Ancient Earth, humic and folic acids, now that's the honey. That releases the nutrients from your soil, helps with blockages. Sensozyme for the dead root matter. Nirvana, guana juice. The big one I'm using right now is this one, Overdrive. Overdrive I'm starting to use extensively this late in the season. That's a weight builder. All right, so there we go. This is, I can adjust it, different settings on here for how much I want it to take in, how many parts per million. And there's my 4 zones of my drip tape irrigation. We'll move along down here and I will show you, after Mike's showing you that, Micro Grow Bloom, Sensi Bloom, great products. I've been using them all summer. Come down here, and we're having our best year ever. This is the watering hole. This is where I pull the water out of the wetlands. It's 240 feet to the river, so this is pulling it through 240 feet of wetlands. There's actually 660 parts per million of nutrients in this water, versus the river, there's only 300 parts per million. Much better. This is not like pumping out of a pond or a swamp that's stagnant. This is clear, running water that doesn't get stagnant and full of diseases. Be careful where you pull your water from. All right, moving along here, we're going to go see the melon sisters. We're saving the Dollster for last. We'll see her last. All right. Here's Elvis singing, "It was so lonely I could die." Here's Holly the melon. Holly the melon, she's a beauty. I'm going to guess, I haven't taped this melon yet. I've never taped it. It's probably 100 pounds. But boy, she's a beautiful shape. That's the 255 traditional, no, I'm sorry, 255 Mitchell. That is a grafted plant. We'll move along here. I had culled some watermelons earlier. You get these watermelons that grow on here, they get about the size of a can of soup in no time. In fact, oh, look, here's one now. Oh my God. Oh, we'll bust this off of here. This thing grew, I had never seen this watermelon before. This is how fast they grow. That watermelon's probably a week old at best. So we don't want this stealing the energy from the next watermelon, so we pick them and throw them in the yard. The guy in the lawnmower, beware. All right. Coming down here, the newest addition to the melon sister patch is Catherine. This is Catherine the watermelon. Catherine's a young melon. She likes long rolls on the beach, but her turnoffs are seedy melons. She does not like seedy melons. There you go, that's Catherine. Moving along here, as you can see, I have the drip tape irrigation, the weed barrier, the leaves. This is so I'm not spending all my time pulling weeds. The only disadvantage of this is the leaves can't root into the soil. Now over here, if you notice, I buried some vines so they can root into the soil. There's what the dirt is there. Oh, here's another little color right here. That's a monster. Look at the size of that one. All right, and here we come to our most famous, Lawana. She would a Lawana look like her sisters, but she's still pear-shaped. Now this here is a 2.6 jug, 2.6 gallon, 10-liter jug of Sensi Bloom. I just wanted to use that as a size reference to how big these melons are, and also one of the great products we're using in growing these beautiful melons in this cold Michigan climate that the melons do not like the cold. Most melons don't like the cold. Now do they? All right, here we go. Here's Molly. Molly's my all-time favorite girl. She's a fat pig. Look at the size of that melon. Oh my God, how beautiful. And there's another one of your 10-liter jugs to show you how big she is. She's a beaut. Anyways, that's Molly. Molly's my girl. She's measuring, I did measure this one. It's about 125 pounds right now. She's doing about 3 pounds a day. So I'm thinking, the weather's gonna warm up though. I think she easily could hit 200 pounds. That's good for a cold Michigan summer. That's actually great. It may end up being the second or third largest watermelon grown in Michigan this year. Yeah, actually possibly could be the biggest. Depends on what happens on everybody else's garden. Anyways, we'll move along here, back out of here, and head towards the Kin Cave. Going to the Kin Cave. Everybody wants to see the Dollster, the great Dalai Lama. Here we go. We'll head back first and see Tiny Stelts. Tiny Stelts is back here. I taped him earlier a couple hours ago. And Tiny was taping 147-inch circumference. Tiny is still baby soft. And the nice thing about this pumpkin is this can win the Howard Dill Award. They give an award for the roundest, orangest, prettiest pumpkin. Most way-offs have that award. I think Tiny here is definitely a contender. She's still baby soft, has a long ways to grow. I notice up on the front here, she's starting to feel, up here on the front, it's not baby soft anymore. It's starting to feel like that toilet paper that we had in high school. What do we call that? 300 grit sandpaper. So she's starting to age a little on the front here, but back here she's still soft as a baby's butt. Beautiful pumpkin, beautiful. She's doing like 20 to 25 pounds a day. All right, now we'll move along to the Dollster. The great Dalai Lama. They may worship cows in India, but here in Muddy Waters, Michigan, we worship pumpkins. Just kidding, folks, just kidding. All right, here we go. We'll unveil the Dolly. If you remember, on the last video, Dolly was 850 pounds, if I remember correctly. Well, now today she's taping a modest 1,099.5 pounds. She's a half pound under 1,100 pounds. She's slowed down. We've had, like, the last 2 weeks has been horrible cloudy weather, cold. Last night 41 degrees and night before 39 degrees. But she's still boosting along, still got a lot of time to grow. She's, what is she, 50, 56, 58 days old? Somewhere, 56, 58 days old. They can grow 110, 120 days. But she's big. If you look at the sides here, she's starting to turn green. She's green and solid. That means she's going to be heavy. That's a little bit of squash in her. If you feel that, some people say you can't tell by beating on them. But she's got a circumference of 174 inches. And she's a beaut, the Dolly. So hey, the advanced nutrients are working great. We're going to keep pumping the juice to her. The voodoo juice, the ancient earth, especially here late in the game. The rhino skin, overdrive. We're going to keep pouring it to her. And we'll see where we're at. I'll be back on Labor Day to give you another update. Have a great, great gardening experience.